Well, hey, we had a loop for some reason.
Yeah, I heard that for a minute and went out.
Well, you know, Grayson's mic wasn't muted during that. I actually had to manually mute it for some reason. But it's all good.
I didn't notice that. I've never done this before.
It's all good. Normally it just mutes everybody, so that was kind of. But anyway, guys, good evening and welcome to the Tuesday night stream. We got a special guest here, Grayson. I'm going to slaughter your last name. Is it Donofrio?
Donofrio, that's correct.
All right, so great. And he's got well, you know what? We'll let you say what your YouTube channel is.
It's called Wildwood's Honeybee Farms.
Wildwood.
We followed the name. I forgot when it was. A few years ago, we were going to sell honey, and my mom made up that name, so then I used that as my YouTube channel name.
It's awesome. I actually saw one of your videos, and then I gave you a shout out on it, and then
I saw that.
So
whenever I saw that shout, I was like, wonder where this came from, and then I figured it out eventually.
And then we shouted you out last week on the stream for people to come and subscribe. So we're going to do it again tonight, guys. When I saw you, I think you had 20 subs.
That's correct.
20
probably
subs.
Family, that kind of thing.
And now you're at 41. 41. So guys, go right now. Leo, I know Lee's got the link already programmed in the stream deck, so it's going to pop up. Boom.
Drop it
right
in
there.
now.
There it is in the comments. So
it is.
Hey Grayson, I think there's a box where you can hit comments on the top where you can see the comments.
I think the private chat comments. I can see comments here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now you'll be able to see what everybody's rambling on about, and you'll notice there'll be a lot of side chats going on and different topics. But but first off, Lee, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm getting my voice back. I lost my voice last week. All the dust at work.
I talked to Lee yesterday. He sounded like Froggy. I mean, it was really bad. And I was like, let me let you go, man, so you can get your voice back. And Wildlife Adventure says, hey, Grayson.
That is my brother, actually.
That's your brother? All right, so subscribe to his brother's channel too, guys. I really am interested in younger people that take an interest in beekeeping because, us old guys, we're gonna die eventually. So we need people that are younger to carry that torch, and we
need somebody younger to carry them boxes for us too.
Yeah. So whenever you're in South Carolina, Grace, you can come carry my supers for me, and we'll wear your back out instead of mine.
All right.
So, how long have you been keeping bees?
Well, it's been a few years. A long time ago, we started with 2 hives. We got it from Florida from a man. I forgot the name. We started off with 2, then we kind of quit for a year or something like that. Then we picked back up. We bought our boxes all unassembled, so we had to put everything together. I remember that. It was pretty hard. Then we kept on going for that, and it's been good so far. We've lost colonies, some into winter, but learning new from our mistakes.
Well, and that's the most important thing, right? So even on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of just live streams. And if something, if something falls over or something, people see it. It's something that's going to happen. I don't edit a lot of stuff out. Just first of all, my editing skills are not that good. But secondly, they're seeing the reality of it. Things that are, and you're going to make mistakes and things are going to happen. How many colonies do you guys have now currently?
Right now, currently 6 so far. 6 colonies. We have one little smaller one. We're trying to take care of it pretty good, trying to feed it some.
Right, and get it built up for the winter.
That's the goal, to try to survive the winter.
You said you're in the southeastern side of...
Basically, if you look at the map, we're kind of on the lower, but kind of more on the right side, I believe, or right side of it. We're basically little right side corner.
Well, you're probably near Bruce Jenny there. Are you close to Dothan?
That's correct. We are close around there.
Okay, so that's where Bruce Jenny is. Are you familiar with Bruce's Bees YouTube channel?
I did see him comment, so I've heard of his name.
Yeah, Bruce's Bees is in Dothan, so maybe through this whole thing, you guys can. Now he likes to work his viewers. Now, if you watch his channel, he likes to invite you over to help him work.
Yeah, it puts you to work good.
So.
Hey, but you get a free lunch.
You do get to eat, so that's a good thing, So what are some things that like you might have had some issues with? I mean, what are things you like and don't like?
Well, the one thing I don't really like, and I do like, I like nukes. I like to use nukes instead of packages because last few times we've used packages, they've died. So I've went more to the nuke side of it.
Right.
Because I think the main problem why our bees died in packages because we didn't really know how to feed them. We didn't really feed them at all because we're a little starter. We didn't really know. But now, if we ever did do any packages, we'd probably feed them.
Feed them right away.
Feed them.
You kind of run the risk of robbing too at that point, right?
Too. Especially in fall, if you use entrance feeders. I get all those mixed up all the time. Entrance feeders, it sometimes can induce robbing sometimes.
Ricky. All right. So Ricky from horizontalbees.com said, how old is this cool kid?
13, that is.
13. So that's awesome. I mean, I wish I would have gotten into bees early. This is my 3rd season.
Third season?
My 3rd season and Lee's 3rd season, right, Lee?
Started in 2020, so that's my 3rd year.
And we're both right at about 30 colonies right now.
That's cool. That's pretty good.
And I did earlier in the year, I was up to close to 60, but I had like some queen mating nukes going and I run some nukes. So are you guys do you have any nukes right now? Are you running?
We just have normal colonies so far. We haven't really... maybe next year I want to try to expand a little more, maybe go up to 10, try to keep on going up each season is my plan. But we don't have any nukes at the current time right now.
A good idea might be to, make your spring splits into nuke boxes, and that way they're making their queens ahead of time. And then if something happens to one of your other queens, you can just go over to the nuke and pluck her out and put her in the box,
like a backup queen.
Yep, exactly. There you go. Resource colony, right? So it's pretty cool.
I've heard that term, like backup nukes have those just in case if your colony is a little smaller, then you have another little friend that has a brood stuff and take it over to the other colony. I've heard that before.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I did this year. Is I split and started doing queens, and I sold a few nukes, and just kind of trying to expand and practice and get better at doing do everything. But we're always going to have that, this queen didn't do very good, or this hive didn't do very good. Matter of fact,
we'll have a loss here and there, but I mean that's to be expected. It's going to happen if you keep bees.
Right. Well, I mean that's what like today I was out in the bee yard, and I was putting feed out and feeding the colonies, and I noticed one nuke, that swarm that I caught a week ago, Lee. Mm-hmm. I didn't see a queen in there, and but they were stacking stores away, and so what I did is I had another nuke that was next to it that had a queen, but so I just merged them together, so now that two colonies became one, but they're a stronger nuke and have a queen that's laying, so it should be a good deal. Cool. Hey, Grayson, it's Brooks.
That's my cousin, actually.
You got your whole family watching. You're famous.
I think I want to send an email to all my family to watch it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I mean,
I bet they're excited to watch it.
I've got 4 kids. You know how many of them watch my streams?
How many?
None.
Same here. I got 3. None of them watch mine.
None of them watch it. So hey, when they get old, my youngest child is getting married this weekend. Or actually, he's not my youngest, but he is getting married this weekend, and so that tells you how old I am. So I'm in my 50s. So it's let me see. May have missed it at the beginning, but is Mr. Donofrio joining us as a sponsorship recipient at the Hive Life Conference? Are you going to Hive Life Conference?
I don't know. I haven't heard of that.
You haven't heard of the Hive Life Conference? So you know who Cayman Reynolds is, right?
Who?
Ain't heard of Hive Life.
Cayman Reynolds is a big YouTuber that's in Tennessee, and they've been doing a conference for this is the 3rd year. I think this is the 3rd year, and they're going to have about 1,500 people there this year. About 1,500.
Wow, that's a lot.
And a bunch of vendors will be there, so you can get discounts on product and all kinds of stuff. So
that's cool.
Hey, Grammy's in Alabama as well. She's just outside of Dothan. So what's the actual town that you're in?
Around like Glenwood.
Glenwood
or Hudson, somewhere around there. Pike, if you've heard of those. Troy.
Well, I've heard of Troy for sure because they've got the Troy football team is right there, right?
That's correct.
Who was Grayson's bee teacher?
Did you have a mentor, or y'all learned on your own?
We learned on our own. Trial
and error. That's
like a lot of them right now is University of YouTube.
Yep, that's it. YouTube tell you everything. That's kind of I watched so many YouTube videos before I even started keeping bees that the good part was I learned some stuff. The bad part was I think I learned enough to be dangerous, to my bees because I didn't know as much as I thought I knew, once I started implementing what was going on. But I've been fortunate. I've got a fellow down the road that is don't watch Bob's channel. See, they're telling you if I dump over a swarm, that's what you see, the swarm falling off the ladder, that kind of thing. And I've got a mentor up the road that he pretty much strictly does nukes and sells nukes in the spring. But we've kind of worked together. So if I go to get sugar, I'll call him. Hey, do you need any sugar? I'll bring it to you, that type of thing. And, we work together. That's the best thing. Even this channel, this is one of the only streams that you can we'll get to a point. Usually it's around 30 minutes in that we drop a link, like the link we sent you, and you can just join us and sit in here and talk bees and ask questions. And we try to answer stuff that we see popping up in the in the chat, and help each other if we can. That's the overall goal. Everybody's going to do it different. Not to say that, Lee's in Louisiana and I'm in South Carolina, and even though we're all in this, and you're in Alabama and we're all in the South, but it's still going to be a little bit different beekeeping. The principles are the same, but timings stuff
like that.
So what are you guys doing right now? You told me before the show that you guys just went and treated.
Around like Friday, not too long ago, like Friday, we did go out to BR today. We just were out there looking around. We did go into our smallest hive I can't find a queen in it, but I can find like eggs, larvae, and breed there. So I expect there's a queen there, but I just can't find it so far.
Well, that's the good thing. I mean, sometimes, Lisa says she's right down the road from you. So, yeah, they're all right there, right in there. So you got some nice people that are beekeepers that, you can probably, subscribe to their YouTube, send them a message. You probably figure out how to, maybe you can go look at their yard and maybe they can come look at your yard and stuff like that, and help each other out. That's always a good thing. But man, I don't often lose my train of thought, but that kind of sideswiped me. But with the treatments and all, you said you didn't see the queen, but you saw eggs and larvae and stuff. So
I saw all that stuff. So
and you don't really need to see her then, right? Because she's been there at least in the last day. She's probably just hiding amongst the girls, and
sometimes it's hard to find her.
Yep. And honestly, if I don't see her, it doesn't bother me if I see those things that you just saw.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, as long as I'm not seeing a whole lot of drone brood being capped off and then have to worry about possible laying worker. As long as I'm seeing one egg per cell, they're pretty much all centered, and I'm seeing worker cappings, I'm pretty safe that way.
And yeah, that's how I am. I mean, if I see her, great, that's a good thing, right? But like when you go in that swarm colony, you're like, I don't see any eggs and larvae, but all the cap brood that was in there is hatching out. That's why I went ahead and just merged them together while I was there. I'm down a colony, but I'm gaining a bigger viable colony in my mind anyway.
That's cool.
And working it. So you've done mite treatments. Are you guys currently feeding right now, or?
We are. I'm trying to find different ways to treat feed the bees. I was pretty soon I'm gonna start feeding some pollen patties. Right now we're testing with granulated sugar bags, see if they'll eat that or anything. Where are you feeding them?
Okay, I know a lot of people are using baggies to put like liquid feed in, and we're lucky down here because it gets cold. Like it was in the 40s here in the morning, but then it warms up, right, and it's in the 70s, and all the bees can get out and fly and have a good time. But pollen sub, I like to feed pollen sub, but I noticed that pollen sub typically for me invites the hive beetles.
I've heard about like pollen patties do attract them.
So one thing I've been doing this year that's really helped out is I've taken that, like I make my own pollen patties and I just put them in a sandwich bag like you would take care of your sandwich to work or school in. Just smash them flat and just take a blade and cut a line in the bottom and set it down on the colony, which it won't totally stop the beetles from getting in it, but it really helps. Yeah, until the bees have eaten a big chunk out of it and the bees are going in the baggie, that's when it kind of gets a little skeptical. But other than that, I mean, it's done a pretty good job this year.
That's good.
So what do you find the coolest thing about beekeeping?
Well, for me, it's I like beekeeping for hobby sometimes, and then I like it for many different reasons. I like going out there and seeing nature, checking it out, learning more about bees.
It's kind of like a strategy game, right? You're playing on your computer. It's like, well, I'm trying to stay one step ahead of what the bees are doing. And think ahead in that aspect.
Thinking about fall, thinking about winter, thinking about planting.
Right. And Do you guys so do you have a goal on how many colonies you want to get, or does your mom and dad say no, we got enough, or we're trying to get?
Well, I have a goal at some point for like maybe at least 20 hives at some point, like, in the near future.
About 20.
20, probably my goal. Like, over the years, like, get few and then try to overwinter them.
Right.
Well, now, are you the only one that does the beekeeping there, or does
my brother helps me?
Okay. Your parents do any of the beekeeping, or just y'all?
Just me and my brother do beekeeping.
It's something fun for y'all to do together.
Very fun.
So, sometimes how many times have you been stung?
A few times. My brother's been stung. I've been stung sometimes for his suit. I forgot, maybe a month ago I got stung on my finger. It wasn't that bad.
I think that's the number one question people ask me when they come to buy honey from me. Do you ever get stung? Almost every day. You know, I don't, not every day, but all the time, you know.
Oh yeah.
And through the gloves.
Sometimes for the suit, depends how they sting right. It might sting just right where it gets for your suit just a little bit. But suit does help, you know, not as bad.
Do you have a full suit, or you just wear a jacket?
Full suit. Some point I was thinking about getting the jacket so it wouldn't be as hot in the summer.
Oh no, that's a lie. It's still hot.
It's still hot. Even the vented ones. I have a Guardian, and I love my Guardian jacket, but it still gets warm.
Sure.
Yeah,
those ventilated ones, but I never really wanted to get one of those because I didn't know, like, that whatever material looks like. It almost looks like you could get stung, but I have no idea about it because I never used one. I just used the normal.
I've been stung through my gloves on my Guardian suit, but never like any of the arms or back, because it's 3 layers thick. You have like 2 layers of like a almost plastic rubber material, and then you got a layer in between.
The only place I've gotten stung where my suit was covering was only on the leather gloves. Right, they can sting through that leather glove, but they love my jeans though. If I get a hot hive, they love to sting my jeans and sting me with my jeans and my socks. Even though I wear thick socks, they still it's surprising for a little bee how far they can sting through. You know, that's pretty amazing thing.
It's pretty amazing.
And let's see, Earl says you need a good sting in the ear. No, sir. I'm good with that one. I've been stung.
I did my PC a while back, and I got stung a little over my lips.
Did it swell up?
Not really that bad. It didn't get me on the lip, but it got me there. It didn't hurt too bad, but.
Is that the worst thing you've had?
I don't think all of them were not that bad. I did get stung a few times on maybe a leg, on my stomach, some. But I also I use a smoker, so I the smoke calms the pheromones from the bee, so that helps a lot.
The worst thing I've ever taken was right on the inside of my nose. It landed right here on my nose and curled its behind up inside my nose.
I bet that hurt.
That one hurt the worst, where my eyes started watering. It felt like someone punched me in the nose. But I have gotten stung on the eyebrow, and it swole my eye up one time. But most of the time, it's weird because sometimes it will do that, and sometimes it won't do that. It just depends. But I don't know what makes the biggest difference. I mean, the amount of, I guess, venom that they're putting in. But I usually, when I get stung, I'll usually come in and take a Benadryl or something, try to knock it down, So you guys, with your colonies now, are you doing pretty much single 10-frame boxes or double deeps, or what are you trying to run?
I've been trying to get them to 2 deeps and super. Some I have just 2 deeps. One of them I have a deep and a super, and I'm trying to get another deep in it before winter, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'm trying to get it, some hives like pretty stocked up, have enough resources, and things like that.
I've tried to, Lee, this I think is similar to what you're doing, right? I've tried to get everything back to a single deep with a single super on top of it for the winter.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm trying to do right now.
Which I don't run queen excluders, so the queen may get up in one of the supers sometimes and lay a little patch of in there.
I never use any excluders. I don't even have any queen excluders because I don't really worry about using those. Because like in the fall, if one of the bees work up to the honey super to eat more resources, the queen excluder might interfere with that. So I don't really use any queen excluders.
A lot of them will do that in the wintertime. They'll pull the excluder out if they run in multiple boxes for that reason. But generally, I have an excluder for every colony that I have, but I don't use them. The only ones I really use it on is my comb honey. That way, whenever I want to do cut comb or anything like that, I want to make sure that queen don't get in there and lay anything in that.
But and your feeders, you said you're trying to feed. Are you using like a Boardman feeder, an entrance feeder, or using frame feeders, or?
Well, right now what we're trying to do is like put like a super on top, give a little space, and I'm just trying this for experiments. Is putting like a granulated sugar bag in there, see if they'll eat that first, and then start feeding them protein and stuff like that.
Okay, I've never fed them granulated sugar this time of year. I do a little bit later in the year. When I stop feeding liquid, then I'll go to putting. I make sugar bricks, but it's the same principle as granulated sugar, just like a big sugar cube.
Thank you.
And they, I mean, I use it as insurance, right? So if they run out of what's in the super, they still have a feed on top that hopefully is enough to make it
as an insurance plan. Right?
Yep, insurance plan. We're gonna do a check. We'll get on people if they're not over there blowing your channel up.
On here on my iPad.
We got him at 48 right now. I just dropped a link to Grayson's YouTube page. Anybody that's new in here that didn't catch the beginning of the show, go over to Grayson's page and give him a sub.
Thanks. I know it's at 50. That's pretty good.
See, it'll come in. We'll come in. Grammy said that's what she did last year. Well, her channel's Grammy's Midwife Suburban Homestead. Her name's Lisa, but I'm lazy, so I just say
Grammy.
Grammy.
That's what I do most of the time.
Just say Grammy. That's it.
For sure.
So you're looking towards next year. You're probably, if you got 6 right now.
Looking to try to get 10 by next year.
By next year? Let me see. If you really wanted to, I bet you could get up to about 15 next year.
Probably.
Because if he split each one of them just one time, that would give him 12 right there.
That'd give you 12, yep.
But that's if you got all the equipment ready and
yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing when you start growing, then you got to start buying stuff, right? You got to buy more boxes and see, that's when it gets to the point to your mom and dad say, yeah, I think we got enough right now. we got enough.
That's what I try to do over the winter time. If I plan on expanding anymore, I'll spend the winter buying my boxes, getting everything painted, sealed. That way they have time to air out before I put bees in them.
So, like, whenever you get your bees, it's good, like, go ahead and pre-order your stuff in winter. So then whenever you order your bees, if they get here and your stuff doesn't get here, then you don't have nothing to put them in. Exactly. That's the worst thing to happen.
Yep. We always run out of equipment.
James says, don't grow. Why does that always happen? I go to click on something and it jumps up a bunch. Don't grow too fast. Like me. Don't grow too fast like I did. And
I went from 1 yard to 2, and now I got 4 bee yards, and it's a job trying to go between 4 different yards.
In Louisiana, they have to register each bee yard they have with the state. Do you have to do anything like that in Alabama?
I don't think we do. I checked the book, and everything it says like everything requires these laws except for Alabama on every single law. So we don't have nothing up here about beekeeping.
South Carolina doesn't have many laws when it comes to beekeeping. It's more about the honey sales part of it where the laws start to come in, not so much on the beekeeping. Mr. Larry says you can make more bees than you can afford equipment for. That's for sure. Definitely. So, what I did, and I think a lot of the people in our channel do this, is that yes, Brooks is on my account. I'm on Kev's. We're learning a lot. is we do the we make a split to a nuke, right? And then as that nuke grows, you move it into a 10 frame box, and then you split back to a nuke. So if you do that once, you're at 12, and then you have basically 6 nukes sitting back, right, making queens for you. And you've got a little bit of extra resource to be able to, if a queen dies, you can. I've done it this year. I had a queen die. The colony started to go. I took a nuke, and I just took 5 frames out and dropped the whole nuke. Boom, right in the middle of it, and let them figure it out. Some people won't recommend that. You could put a piece of newspaper down or something.
That's what I heard of. That put a piece of newspaper and then bees chew for it, and then somehow there'll just be a whole colony or something like that.
But yeah, and it's worked out. And then what I do is I let my nukes, the 5 framers, I'll put another 5 frame box over them, right, and checkerboard it. Of course, it's warm when this happens, and then they grow out 10 frames. They're just 5 over 5, and then I can move that to a 10 frame box, and they're already established and can get growing. But they definitely like to work in the upward trajectory there.
Yeah, great.
He has 60 subs. Look at you. Blowing up. Mad Mort says, I can't afford enough equipment. I'm willing to take burn pile boxes.
Hey, as long as you can put a bee in it and keep them, that'll work.
Right. There's Rodney. Hey, Rodney. So, yeah, we got a bunch of people on here. How long can you stay tonight, Grayson? I don't know if your parents got a limit on. We usually go for 2 hours to 10 o'clock here, 9 o'clock your time. And I understand.
I can stay on till then because we don't really. We go to sleep, 10, 11, so really for us doesn't matter.
Just don't want to get you in trouble. So what we typically do is we put out our link around this time and let people come in. And they might have questions for you too and stuff. So Larry said he painted 150 new deep boxes today. 7 gallons of paint. So yeah.
Now, Larry, was that hand painting, like rolling, brushing, or you got an airless sprayer? I use an airless. Well, some of it I use airless, some of it I'll roll like my final coat.
You do everything extra. Grayson, it's not even an exaggeration.
They pick on me. I think Bob froze up again. Yeah, they always pick on me about my yards. They say they too well maintained and my boxes are painted too pretty. I'm kind of OCD. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull one up here. Yards 4. Nope. Yard number 3. This is one of my yards here. So they say everything's too neat.
Well, you never can be too neat.
As it.
Keep it organized.
Keep it organized, keep it straight, and it's easier to work with. Well, since we lost Bob, I think he logged out. I'm going to copy this link and drop this in the comment section. If anybody wants to jump in and ask Grayson any questions or comments. Let's see. Yeah, Grammy said my spreadsheets too. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to keeping up with paperwork on my computer. Yeah, Mike said he started coloring his stuff too. This looks better. Further up since. Let's see. We got Hillbilly Earl. This is Earl Dooley. He's from Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah, we got some people from all over here. We got one guy in here from Northern Ireland.
Wow.
That comes in. His name will pop up, Fermanagh Beet Juice. We got a couple of coming in. We got Earl right here from Virginia and Mike from Michigan. Or not Michigan, Minnesota. My bad, Mike.
Hey, guys.
How y'all
Hello.
doing tonight?
Yeah, Grayson, you got a neat little channel there. I like that.
Thank you. I like it myself. I edit most of all my videos. My
Got a lot
brother.
of energy. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did you get into it? I just came in here, so I.
Well, a long time ago, we started out with 2 colonies, and then we started off 2 colonies, and we kind of quit because our bee suits got all worn out, and then we just stopped for a little bit, and then a year later we came back, and we kept on doing it, and then this is where it led us.
So it was a
Awesome.
family affair.
What do you say?
It was a family affair.
Oh, me and my brother did it. My mama just works. We sew at home, so we do a lot of our stuff at our house. So we're at home most of all the time.
I was scanning through your channel earlier too. You had a video up there several years ago, or actually a year ago. Was that your mom playing the piano?
That was.
Okay.
She just play the piano.
All right.
She does a good job.
I do like
We
your
play
video.
a little music around here.
But are you a beekeeper or beekeeper?
Can't be a hillbilly without a banjo.
It's true.
No, your video, Grayson. Are you a beekeeper or a bee haver? And that's something that a lot of people just don't get. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Learning that at a young age is a big deal. You have to manage your livestock.
If you don't, then they'll die.
I always look at it like this. I love my bees, don't you?
I do. I love them.
And I love my kids more. And when they come home with lice, sometimes I will put the permethrin to their head. And you can say, well, I'm treatment free. I'm going to let my kid go. And then we're never going to get rid of it at the school. You could, some people don't. That's do whatever they want to. But I'm just saying, I'm going to slap the poison to them if I have to. And that's my own youngin'. So I don't think no more about giving the bees just a little bit of something to get rid of the mites. Because when I think of a mite, I don't know. I think about having a chihuahua hanging underneath my arm, just sucking the life out of me. Because that's about the size of it.
Oh, yeah. If you have ticks on your dog or your horse has mange mites, you treat them.
That's right.
That's my attitude. And
since bees are qualified as livestock, Mike, and there have been a law passed that animal cruelty is a felony.
Yeah, but that's
So
kind
if
of
you misuse your livestock, you might want to be careful where certain it could go places you might not want it to go. You need to take care of what you got and be active in it and not throw your hands up. And listen, guys, I know Dirt Rooster says he's treatment free. I love him. He's the boss. Wink, wink. That guy brings in more bees every week than anybody on planet Earth. And what does he do? He dumps those suckers sometimes right on the ground. Sometimes he'll make a colony. He'll throw them out and let them just go wherever they want to. He is constantly replenishing his yard. So he's keeping that stock up, and he's constantly bringing in different stock. And I think that makes for a better stock. And they do feed good. I watched his daddy and brother and him one time mix up homemade honeybee healthy with lecithin and spearmint oil and what's the other one? Lemongrass oil. And they made a giant batch of that. So they, between his brother, his dad, and him, they must have a ton of bees. I mean, that they feed.
I wonder what his annual losses are. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Ed, Jeff Hirschkoff, and he lost about
I wouldn't
30%.
think that Dirt Rooster has any losses.
You're
not many. I wouldn't think so with the way he replenishes and as short as their winters are. I mean, he's probably working all year round.
Well, Jeff he said he was losing about 30%. That's just the way it was. And he doesn't treat them at all. But he also brings a bunch in there. So that's.
I went through last year 100%, and I'm going to go through this next year 100%. And y'all keep watching, and I'll prove it every year. It's going to be 100%. I can guarantee you that. Keep watching. Prove me wrong.
Well,
nobody wants to
I
prove
believe
you
with
wrong.
the healthy diet of Apis biologics and with the peppermints and with the other tools I've got in my toolbox, that my bees are going to have the best of everything, and they are going to. I don't think with as much nutrition as I've got coming in, a few Varroa ain't going to drag them down. It would have to be a heavy infestation before it would probably do anything to them. I don't know. I probably got so much nutrition going into my bees that they got enough, the mites got enough, and they're just all running around happy. I don't know, but I'm telling you what, I've never seen anything like it.
That's grand. We're just going into winter here, and then I'm going to shut up. But speaking of nutrition, real quick, Bob, the stuff that you put in the pollen from Ian, is that the activator?
It is the activator, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got no pollen here at all, and I'm just trying to fatten up the nurse bees before we go in. And
that's exactly right, man.
Yeah. So
it'll do you good.
And they just thanks, Bob. I couldn't remember what it was, but yeah. So he, anyways. By the way, the switch just turned on here. We're supposed to get cool weather. We got up to 75 today, and then we're going to drop down for a high of 53 or something.
I wrapped mine today.
Same for us.
What's that, Grayson?
I wrapped mine today.
Like a few weeks ago, or a month, or actually a week ago, our lowest was 53, and our highest was 70 or 80 something. So it's changed. Temperature changes have started to drop just a touch.
Yeah. Last week we had cool weather. We were back to 85. Friday, I think we looked 89 again this Friday.
I wouldn't wish our 35 below weather on you, but man, I just couldn't handle that heat. It's the Norwegian blood in me.
Oh, I don't like it.
31 degrees Saturday night. That's what it's supposed to be here. 31 degrees Saturday night. So we get a good frost.
Really? Oh, wait, you're in some altitude, aren't you, Early?
Yeah, I'm up a couple thousand feet. Plus, I'm central Appalachia.
Thank you. Okay.
Right where Virginia and Kentucky kiss each other on top of a mountain. I'm staring right at it.
Well, that's a great thing.
Not
Let
right
me show
now,
y'all
but
something. Larry just sent me a photo. Whoops. Sorry, wrong thing. It doesn't say share screen anymore. It says present screen.
Yeah, they changing up StreamYard. They upgrading some stuff.
There's so many of us using it.
That's what Larry was doing today.
Oh, that's his painting?
He painted his boxes, yep.
It looks like an airless line running out there to paint.
Oh, okay. Was he Larry, were you primering these things, or how were you doing that?
I do like Bob Benny. I use that Zenzier oil-based primer.
Same here. Yeah.
I put at least 2 coats of the primer, sometimes 3 coats.
Oh, really?
I put 2 coats of acrylic enamel, latex enamel, on top of that.
Okay.
So I make sure they're sealed very well.
Hey, hey, let me address this real quick. So, we had a little bit of an issue. Earl didn't get that shipment out, Paul, right up front. So it will be there. It is in the mail. The envelope is in the mail. The payment is in the mail. So it'll be there. The check's in the mail. So you should be able to click on the track, and that's the only reason it took a little bit longer. So.
Yeah, I was a day late, but it happened on the weekend, and I had to go buy a printer to print labels and stuff off with and the receipts. So I wasn't going to ship them out till I could do all that. And I spent a little money, bought a giant mailbox so everything could fit in it, not get wet. You know what I mean? In case I get kicked out, I got a place to live. And it got me one of them big fancy, wireless printers that makes ID cards and anything you want to print, double-sided, same time, fax machine, whatever you want to do, scanner. It's pretty cool. So I'm up to par. I got some Lee grade equipment, and I'm ready to go.
Lee grade equipment.
I got 3 printers sitting on my side. Only one of them's laser, though.
See, I got 2, but one of them's laser, but it's outdated laser, and the hardware, the wiring was off, and everything's went to HDMI since that printer came out, and I decided, yeah, it's a scrapper. It was a brother.
Chris, I've never used the Valhalla. I've used, this year was the first year I used that Eco Wood treatment, and the jury's still out on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have they've tried it and they've walked away from it.
Yeah, I was actually contemplating going ahead and painting those boxes. And now I don't know how the paint will stay on it with the Eco Wood.
Oh, you did that.
Well, I did the Eco Wood first, but
yeah.
What I noticed is some of my boxes have started to curl.
Yeah.
Right at the
top and bottom where the other ones sit on them.
Just at the frame rest, right? So it makes it hard. Like the frames will just fall off the lip. So
you said those joints weren't nailed, or were they nailed?
They were nailed.
They wasn't glued.
You remember when
you got some wood clamps?
Yeah, I've got clamps.
I got a couple of long wood clamps, and whenever I catch one do that, I'll squirt some of that what is it, Top Bond 3, and I'll squish it in there, and then I'll tighten them up, and then leave them overnight. And the next day, go out there and take them off, and just clean it up, man. It's but it pulls them right back in if you can get enough Gorilla Glue in there, it'll make it stick. And I was going to ask, how old's your brother, Grayson?
He's 10 years old. He helps me on the art a lot. He does a lot of my videos. Like, he's behind the camera, my director. He helps with a lot of like keeping the camera in focus, that kind of thing. So he helps me a lot.
Yeah, he's the only brother you got?
He's the only brother I got. His name is Vincent. He's probably commenting in here.
He's the cameraman. He's the one that says, "Hey, turn this way because the sun's shining from this direction."
That's what he does. And then he helps keep the camera in focus.
That's
a lot, man. You're lucky to have a cameraman. You're lucky to have a brother that's helping you, and you're very blessed.
He's moving up like Mr. Ed.
You're doing good.
Like Mr. Ed got his own cameraman.
He's got a blog as well. What's your blog about? Beekeeping, or is it about something else?
Oh, it's about beekeeping, same type stuff. Sometimes I'll talk about the same stuff. I put little videos, things like how to use stuff sometimes, and then I'll just put articles about things.
So you hunting fish?
I do.
I seen that gun rack back there. It looked like it had an arrow in it. I didn't know.
I think you can see it back there, but I do hunt and fish, that kind of things around here because we have private property, so it's pretty good.
What do you like to hunt the most?
In the winter, deer and sometimes squirrels, but I haven't been able to really. Squirrels are kind of hard to find.
No doubt. They should be a good year for them this year. A lot of mash.
Definitely. We don't hunt the squirrels here, though. We feed them real good.
Feed them. Yeah, they eat my chicken feed and my everything else I throw out for.
You remember here a while back, I had 72 chickens, and then I'd sold some, got down to around 30 or so. I got one chicken left. Something got in my pen past all the electric wire that I had around it, and got all of them but one.
A coon?
No idea.
Wow, did you have they didn't dig under, did they?
Nuh-uh. My gate, I just have a spring on it. It don't latch, so it just like eases too, so the chickens can get out.
Oh, this raccoon, that raccoon.
Yeah,
you wait till them fisher cats get down your neck of the woods. Them things came from up north and came down, and they're down in my neck of the woods now, and they say they're continuing south, but you ain't never seen what a creature is. What a fisher cat is. One mean hombre, let me tell you. That thing, a fisher cat. Yeah, it looks like a badger and a squirrel put together. It's just insane. It'll climb a tree, scream, holler, make all kinds of noise, and flat tire you up.
You know, Lee's Googling it right now. I already saw him.
Fisher cat. Yeah, that's a mean critter right there, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we've got those up here. Those
I know you do. Why couldn't you kill them? Now they're down here. We didn't want them down here. Yeah, look at that thing. It's like a miniature bear.
Yeah, they get big too.
They can swim, climb, jump, run faster than you.
Mink or something?
Yeah, but they look cute.
No, man, that's a mink on steroids, dude. That's a Fisher cat.
Yeah, they're the if memory serves me right, they're the biggest land weasel that there is. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, you do know exactly right.
Yeah,
good job. Thank you.
Yeah, they can go crazy, but I don't know. But yeah, if
you ought to watch them YouTube videos on them. Them people that go out in the woods and film them, how defensive they get when you start getting close to them. Oh man, it makes you want to not mess with them. Check that out. Fisher Cats on YouTube.
Vincent is your brother, Grayson?
Yes.
Man, that's wonderful. I'd love to have somebody to film for me like that. I'm just running through your videos here, and yeah, they look nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll have to take a look at that. And you've got some really good touch points there too, like why use a smoker? Is it worthless or worthless? I love that stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, just basic
beginner.
I dig it too, man.
The first
you got some good content on there.
Are you a beekeeper or a bee haver?
Me?
No, that's the video. When I saw that video, the first one I saw, and I thought, well, this kid, we got to talk to him. He's got to be on here because we've talked about that several times, right? The difference between being a beekeeper and a bee haver.
He flip out if a rooster come in here with us, wouldn't he? He does sometimes, you know.
You ever watch Dirt Rooster?
Randy McCaffrey, the Dirt Rooster, 628 Dirt Rooster YouTube channel. Grayson, have you ever seen it?
I don't think so. What's it called again?
You are missing out, son. The best thing that happened to you tonight was coming on this channel, getting to get some subs and learning about 628 Dirt Rooster. You got at least 2 weeks that you ain't gonna be able to do nothing but watch. And then you're gonna probably have to watch Yappy B, man. Hold on.
The 628 Dirt Rooster, he has a lot of cutouts and stuff like that.
No,
he's fun to watch.
I heard some mention about the Hive Alive conference.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Grayson hadn't heard about it. They were asking, was he doing that the young person scholarship thing they were having? And he was unaware about the conference until he came on here and we told him about it. So
now, Grayson, do you watch Cayman Reynolds at all or Bob Binney?
I haven't heard of him, but I'll probably look him up because I haven't heard.
Yeah, that. Okay, so Ian Stepler is north of me, just on the other side of Canada.
Excuse me, Mike, but where did you learn all your information? Because you have a lot of knowledge for a young kid. It's amazing, really. So, who's your teacher? Who's your mentor? Where'd you get that?
Well, I usually just look.
You didn't get it from YouTube, or you'd know where all those people was.
I just YouTubed it, looked it up. I did a lot of research before Beekeeping Bees, so
reading.
I read some books about it, so that's pretty good.
What kind of beekeeping books you got? Have you bought any of the expensive ones, or did you rent them, or?
I've read some of them. Like I don't know the names of them, like just different beekeeping books. Some of like David Burns books, if you've heard about it.
Yeah, I've heard of David Burns.
Was on the stream team last week.
Yeah,
where is it? Castle Hives, I think.
Yep, Castle Hives. Yep, Brian. He comes in here a lot.
I watched that live stream.
They're on tomorrow night. Bob Binney's going to be there tomorrow on stream.
And Greg's going to be on Hillbilly Hives Thursday.
So it's
Greg from Nature's Image Farm. He'll be with Hillbilly Hives on Thursday. Then, like he said, stream team Wednesday with Bob Binney, and we're jamming it tonight on the Bob and Lee show.
And we got
Hey Earl, whose channel y'all's going to be on this week?
Be on my channel, Hillbilly Beekeeping.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. And like I said, we'll have should have Greg Burns, and just so everybody knows, I have a mystery guest stopping in, and big time YouTuber. Everybody knows him, mystery guest. He said he'd stop in for about 20 minutes and talk to us.
Grayson, I'm
only
going to drop
Bob knows. I would say nobody knows, but Bob knows, so I can't say nobody knows. But yeah, it's going to be a fun night, guys.
I'm hoping it's Ian.
I'm just nobody trying to tell everybody.
Sorry to do that, Earl.
about
It's on my wish list here.
Hey, Grayson, I'm going to drop Earl's channel link in the comments. That way your brother can look that channel up.
Definitely. I bet you look it up. Bet you watch, he's
They
probably
do,
watching
they do a live on Thursday night.
And, you know, we're just a bunch of beekeepers, and this is kind of what we do. Just every Tuesday night, we talk about bees and get in a group and hang out. And if anybody's got any, you know, questions, they can definitely ask them. Or, you know, if you got any questions, you need some help with, or you're thinking about that you might want to answer on?
Well, I don't have any questions right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you ever do, you're always welcome to come in and hang out and ask questions. And, you know, not even if it's not us, the 50 people sitting over here in chat right now will always offer up answers of what they would do. Now, you got to take your.
And I got the scoop on some $5 hive wrap.
$5 hive wrap.
Yeah. You know that blue insulation that they put between concrete, that even when it's squished, it still fills it out and makes a seal, and it's a watertight seal. And like if it comes apart, then it just foams back. It always keeps its form and shapes and molds, and it comes in a roll, and it's like $3.99 or $4. It's under $5, and you can get it in the concrete section at your big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. $5, you get a big old roll of that stuff, and it'll do one hive. You can wrap, if you want to wrap it twice, you might want to get you 2 rows, but you can use duct tape on it. Huh?
Is it waterproof?
Yeah, it's waterproof. Yes, sir. That's actually its biggest feature.
R factor is on it?
I can't remember. I think if you, no, I'm not going to say I don't know.
No, that's okay.
I would just be lying. I thought I could give an educated guess, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, if you think
I'll have to look at it. It's made by Dow. It's actually a styrofoam brand.
Oh, really? It's like a styrofoam wrap type of deal?
Yeah, it's actually called styrofoam, but it's a weird, it's not, you can't just crunch it. You know what I mean? It's stuck together pretty good. It's kind of elastic. Next time you see, well, you can watch my, I got an old video back when I first started making videos about $5 hive wrap. It ain't real great, but it tells you about where I got it. And I think I even covered the R factor back then, but I just can't remember.
Okay. Huh.
You can tell it looks light blue as soon as you see it, and you can see I'm wrapping something around it. But I took an old hive I had and wrapped it up just to show how I would wrap a hive. But I've done a lot better on mine this year, a little more particular and stuff. And with that flow frame front, I was able to kind of get it behind it and make it look good and stuff. And I like it. Put me some duct tape all around it, then torched it so it would seal good and wouldn't get no water behind it.
And Mike, that would be a R 7.5.
And what's it called?
Give me just a sec here.
Stuff that goes between concrete, styrofoam.
It's Dow SB Scoreboard Blue XPS style.
That's it.
Is that a wrap?
It comes in a roll, but it looks like that. But the roll has ridges. Yeah, it's in a roll. It rolls out. It's about, it's cool. It's about 8 inches wide.
7.5.
I'm right out about 30, Vincent.
R75 is pretty good, ain't it? That doubles up with your wood to give you about at least a 10.
And
wood's 4, ain't it?
I want to thank everybody that pre-ordered their Apis, and shout out to Gunline and the Texas Beekeeper that did little videos on the Apis Biologics and, you know, pre-order from the website and everything. We appreciate all of you guys for that, for sure. And it's helping,
Amen.
Get the ball rolling for sure. So just a little update on that, not to go into an infomercial on it or anything, but we went from having 4 states to having 40% of the United States as a distribution area. So we've got everything from
We
Louisiana,
are the Eastern.
everything from Louisiana to the Atlantic shore, and everything from Florida to Maine is our area now. So we have exploded in territory and trying to start working stores. So if you got a store and want to carry some Apis biologics in your store, reach out to Earl, me, Johnny, or Tim over at Southwest Ohio Bees, and we'll be looking forward to trying to, get it in your store for you.
More than happy to help.
Now, Bob, what's that legal limit of oxalic acid per deep?
Oh, is it 4?
Nah, the legal limit.
2?
1.
I don't know. Mine is whatever a fit in the cap.
I believe it's 1 gram per deep. So for a double deep, Larry, it would be 2.
Plus a scoop on top.
Yeah. 2 grams, Larry.
Yeah, that's what mine is. Whatever fits in the cap plus a little bit more on top when I OA them. So, you know what? And in the hives that I did the inspections on today, which were pretty much my nukes and nukes that I've moved to 10 frames, right? They're just exploding. I mean,
you always know who don't buy Apis biologics. I mean, Apis bioxyl. You know who doesn't buy Apis what's it called? Bioxyl. The only
legal
EPA approved oxalic acid. You know they didn't buy that when they say how much are you using, because on the label it tells you that, and on the other ones they don't have a label for bees, and so you don't know.
Mine, I got I got the Florida Labs one. Yeah, Vincent, I've got it right at 30.
No, you don't. You got Apis bioxyl. I saw you buy it.
Let me see.
Just joking.
Grace at a conference in Clanton on September 16th and 17th. Randy McCaffrey spoke there. Dr. Larry Connor, Bob Benny, and Randall Carter spoke too. It was a great time every year. So there's a lot of.
I love to hear Bob Benny talk, don't you?
Yeah.
I just seen him a month and a half ago in Alexandria at the Louisiana Beekeepers Conference.
I think he's on like world tour right now.
I know as soon as he got done that second day, he had to leave because he had other stuff to do. So he was heading out of town then.
We need to call him down at the Blue Ridge store and say, hey, come do a live with us on tonight.
Right.
Come hang out with us.
We've had a bunch of big YouTubers in here, so
we sure have.
It, to me, I like to have all different kinds of. You don't even have to be a YouTuber. I mean, you can just be a YouTube watcher and want to come on our show, and it's fine. We don't
care if you got bees or not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you want to keep bees and want to come on and ask questions, that's great. If you got 1,000 colonies, that's awesome. If you got 1 colony, no colonies, don't matter. We'll include you.
We'll hang out with you and talk to you.
Let me see. No, I don't, Mike. I'm trying to keep up here. There are more dollars in bee conferences than bees now. Yeah, apparently.
Ray said, I don't have bees. See, there you go. You don't need bees. Well,
there you go.
They sure are fun.
Okay.
It's all fun and games till somebody takes a sting.
Then it's funnier.
All right, let me ask you something.
As long as it ain't me.
Young man, when you get in them bees and you get them frames out and that smell hits you in the face and you're just looking around, and how come you like it?
Well, for me, I like keeping bees. I like, what smell are you talking about actually? You mean the venom smell?
No, the smell that just comes up out of the hive when you get close to it and you start working it. I guess the wax, the honey, the bees themselves. Do you find that to be just a heavenly fragrance or what?
That's what I usually find it to be. I like the smell of wax, all that stuff. It's like natural.
Just gives you a good feeling when you're around it and doing it, don't it? Smelling it. I don't know. It just makes you feel good.
That's right. It makes you feel good, and also sometimes for some people it's peaceful doing beekeeping until
because you gotta be calm.
That's right. Because bees can sense if you're fear or scared or anything like that. Bees are smart.
I like
They
to call
say,
them the
I mean,
greatest lie detector on.
bees are peaceful because they say at the same time, like some people believe in talking to, say, afterlife and different stuff. They say you can communicate through your bees
Now,
to afterlife. But they say, like, when a beekeeper dies, that another beekeeper theirself is supposed to come tell your bees that their keeper has passed away.
my brother
I've
told
heard
me
that.
the exact thing.
I've heard that. That's an old English lore.
They
It
just
sure
done that
is.
a while back when Queen Elizabeth died because she was still a beekeeper.
Mm.
Did they tell her bees?
Yep. They said they go tell the bees. That way the bees have the option to stay or leave then.
This is a good book if you like history of beekeeping type of stuff. If you haven't picked it up,
We have that book.
The Beekeeper's Bible. It's really interesting, isn't it? With the different history.
It has a lot of history in it. I've scanned through it. It has a lot of history, a lot of things like that. It's a big book.
I'm just an old Virginia boy, so of course I'm going to throw up. You can't see it, but it says Virginia Honey, A Sweet History. Yep. It's a pretty good read, let me tell you. I can't see it. I hate this thing sometimes.
It's that virtual background.
I try to show you the book and I disappear. Well, you can read it from here.
My favorite part of beekeeping, Vincent, is being able to. It's almost like a meditation for me, if that makes sense. It's because I'm out there and I'm just in my own thoughts and thinking about. It's almost like Sim Beehive, right? If you're thinking video games, it's like, how am I going to make the bees grow larger? How am I going to make them stronger? How am I going to make them healthier? How are they going to produce more honey? And it to me, it's almost like a game, right? I mean, obviously,
Yes.
it's a real life situation, but it's very similar, right? You're trying to do things in each colony, and every colony is different. So you got to assess and evaluate and figure out what's where you want to get, where they're lacking, what you need to give them. So it's just a constant cycle. So that's what I like about it. I like the constant interaction that I have to do to try to help them and grow them and split them and keep them from swarming. So it's always about trying to stay ahead of it. And that really intrigues me about it, so.
It's like when I get out there, you say the common effect of it. When you open up a hive and all you hear is buzzing around you, it just drowns out the rest of the world.
I didn't even use my veil today, guys. No gloves, no veil, just fingers in a hive tool.
As long as I got a nectar flow going, I can do that. Without a nectar flow, you better suit up here.
And I catch a few swarms, but most of them end up being mine, like the late season ones that I caught. Most of them were mine. I did get a few calls this year for going to pick other people's swarms up or wild swarms, stuff like that. That's always fun. But let me see. Trying to keep up with the chat at the same time.
Yeah, I just dropped Grayson's link to his YouTube channel. If anybody hadn't checked that out yet, give him a sub.
So where are we at now on Grayson's YouTube channel?
63.
63.
Yeah,
man, look at that. Let's go.
Cool.
Let's blow it up. I thought when I saw that video that you had a bee haver or beekeeper, that video, I was like, for me, that was like, man, that's kind of a heavy topic for a young person, because I'm surprised you didn't get some shade thrown at you. I mean, we've said less than that and got like shade just blasted at us from some people. And, it just, I'm glad, that you got that feeling too. That's kind of how we are. Jarrett's got 15 cutouts this year and he's got 2 more to do. Who finally got bees? Rich, Time is Honey, did a cutout, and he's got those plates today. So that's one of the guys that had been coming on the show that hadn't had any bees, but he wanted to get it a bee. So he finally got them. And
you want to hear something funny about bees?
They got more teeth than Earl does.
It is super. Everybody has more teeth than Earl, Bobby. Toothbrush, not teeth brush. It says right here that Aristarchus of Apollo, son of Apollo, named by some legend as the first beekeeper, the theory that bees generated spontaneously from the carcasses of cattle.
What? That's what
Every time a cow would die and would rot away, bees would build a nest in the carcass. So they thought that that's how bees were born, was a cow died and the carcass turned into bees, which, was totally crazy. But that's what they thought.
There's actually a biblical verse that goes along that line too.
Which one you want?
Let me see. I'm not that skilled.
Oh, yeah.
Where it is.
That was the Samson verse where he says, out of the strong came meat, and out of the something else came sweet. And it was the Samson's riddle about a honeybee hive that had built inside of a lion's carcass.
Yeah, the Judges 14
yeah.
7 through 9.
So I always said the first hive ever written about was a long lion's, not a layers, but a lion's.
A lion's hive.
Yeah, a lion's.
After time,
right in his ribs.
And he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof in his hands and went on eating, and came to his father and mother and gave them, and they did not eat. But he told them that he had taken the honey out of a carcass of the lion. So, okay, cool.
They're not supposed to touch dead stuff. Jews don't touch dead animals. It's kind of taboo to go to a dead animal and get the honey.
Well, always learning something.
That's how good honey is.
Good honey will make you dig in a lion to get it. So what is your major honey flow down there? Is it the in the spring, the tallow or Grayson?
Oh, usually in the spring we harvest our honey not too long ago, forgot June, spring, around that time, summer. We had a deep that had a whole bunch of honey, so we extracted it. That same colony already filled up all the honey again, so that's pretty cool. And I'm gonna leave all that for the bees.
Smart.
How much honey did y'all end up getting this year?
I forgot 50 bottles, I think. 8 gallons.
Tell him what he can do next winter or next spring, Bob. Tell him what he can do next spring. Bob does that too.
Yeah, I usually wait until the winter honey, then I'll go back in the spring and I'll pull the honey off to empty out the super form to start building back and filling. And when I did that,
they won't eat it all.
Yep, and they won't eat it all. And then when I did it, I was the only guy in town that had honey at that point because everybody else had sold all theirs in the summertime and in the fall, and I still had honey. So it ended up being a windfall at that point. So you're at 66 now.
Cool.
He's doing something right. He got them supers filled up twice this year. Everybody didn't do that.
I didn't do that. That's for sure.
I didn't do that.
I still hadn't got all my supers off yet.
Don't worry, the hive beetles got you covered over there.
No, hey, when I went the other day, I did have one abscond in my number 4 yard, but I didn't see no hive beetles in there, and I only seen just a couple larvae. So how long the bees have been gone, I don't know.
Right. Well, that wouldn't have been too long then, or all the bees got to it before the hive beetles could and robbed it out after the abscond.
I figured a rob out because, there was no honey in it, but normally when you have a rob out, they rip them wax cappings off and they land on the bottom board. There was no wax cappings, unless they stole the wax too.
They may did.
They just left it sitting there.
Yeah, Jarrett said he still got supers on. I think I still got around probably right about 20 supers on right now.
Yeah, I do have supers on, but the idea was the stronger colonies would fill them back up where the weaker ones couldn't. And then I would split them out to my weaker colonies and give them all it's kind of the communist bee theory. The government provides, and we just go ahead and split them to everybody.
Now, Grayson, do y'all sell y'all's honey anywhere, farmers market, or y'all give it to family?
We give it to family, and then we sell it local around our home, like around our town. That we usually do. We sold about almost every bottle last year, and we're starting to sell some this year. Local.
Sell out. Put it on Facebook. It'll go.
Got to use that book of faces.
Yeah.
Grayson, what size bottles are you using?
We're using, I forgot, maybe 8 ounce, like the smaller ones.
Okay.
Half-pound bears, or
like it looked like bears, and then some just normal little jars, and then
something like this,
just like that. Then we have some that are bears that looks like bears, and bears, like the bottles, plastic, standard.
I'm surprised Philip hadn't jumped on here. He's been in the chat.
Oh, Phil is here?
He's in the chat, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's been in there a while.
He got mad about our infomercial sessions last couple videos, I think.
I had a funny story, woodmill story for him, so I was kind of waiting for him to come on. But
I get his address. I'm gonna send him some of his stuff, and when he uses it, I dare him to say anything.
Speaking of which, Mike, how is it going for you at the Apis over there in the North Country, Michael?
Well, they're taking it. I traditionally had some really, really strong hives going into winter, but I don't really have anything to say about it, plus or minus, aside from they're taking it down. But because of the weather shift we've going, I've had a couple of hives that have literally taken 1 gallon of syrup within 48 hours. I mean, they're just in hard mode.
Right.
I feel real good knowing that there's enough proline for them to make the proper bees, the winter bees, long-lived bees, diutinous bees, whatever you want to call them, because proline is linked directly to vitality, and it's directly linked to energy. So I feel really good. And me and Bob was talking. I was noticing that they had like a shine to them. And I said, "Am I crazy?" Or after a couple of weeks feeding this stuff, did they seem more shiny? And I was talking to the guy that invented it today, and he said that they noticed the same thing. Mostly on the wings, you would see a lot higher sheen on the wings, and I can only imagine it's due to the proline, the way it increases the elasticity of cells, that it would be, providing that extra glow about it or whatever. It's
see, I'm gonna have to put on my I'm gonna have to put on my glasses and take a look, because I can't see that typically. So you got me curious about that. But Bob, to answer your question there, the thing that I'm really excited about now is that I'm putting on the final pollen patties. We don't have any pollen here, and I mean, we've got to get that protein in there for the winter bees. So that's what I use that in. But I also put Pro Health in there too, because I want to get thymol in to clean the guts out.
Right.
So
I use Beekeeper's Choice with mine. Same thing.
That has
I
the
want that thymol
also, doesn't it, Earl?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got to have it. Yeah. I believe
honestly,
with the thymol and my peppermint candy and good nutrition, nothing can stop my bees.
Yeah. So up here, it's that is really critical. I've got to clean the bees' guts really good going into winter where they're locked up. You know the drill. You've seen Ian.
You don't want that poopy front.
We had 46 in overnight last night, and today it warmed up into the 70s, like 72. But man, I've got, even in my nukes that I went through today, I've got slabs of brood in there still, where they're just loading.
I'll read this one time and shut up about it, Bob. Apiary performance and disease management through improved nutrition. That's what's in Apis Biologics. Over 100 different biological compounds. Match your sugar, syrup, and pollen with nature.
Yeah, I can't. Again, it goes back to Ian for me. When it boils down to it, has it been in long enough for us to see some results? Yeah, I think it has.
Slightly, yeah, I think so
but
too.
When you look at somebody on the scale of Ian Stepler that has 2,000 colonies and he's been using it for
2,600,
4 or 5 years, 2,600. Okay, he's got a bunch of colonies, and if he thinks that it's worth the value and that he's to spend the money on that number of colonies, he's got to believe the results of it. That's, and when I say 4 years, we've only been able to retail buy Apis Biologics since April of this year, but he's been using the product and developing the product for the last 5 to 7 years, depending on which one it was. And it's been being worked on for a decade. So it, if he's doing it, I think he's a smarter beekeeper than I am. He knows more than I know. He's got more money invested in it than I have. Makes sense, to me.
He turned those pitiful poopy faced hives into a record honey flow.
You come now.
Right.
They were so bad off, wet. I mean, I just flooded. I felt so bad for him. And then he says, I'm going to run this rocket fuel through them. Next thing you know, record honey year. The proper nutrition is a big, big thing. It's like us taking a multivitamin, I guess.
So Grayson Jeff
says, I'll shut up about it or Phil will leave.
Grayson Jeff said, good way to buy more equipment, Grayson. Return the honey money back to your expanding. So turn the money back into equipment.
So we do. Last time we used some money like to buy more nukes. Last time, I forgot when it was last year. I think we bought some nukes, and I think we did overwinter them last year. We came out with 3 or 4 colonies came out wintered, and I forgot how many. I just sometimes forget, but now we're at 6, and I'm hoping to overwinter all of them next year, and then go up to at least 12 or 10, something around there. Expand every year.
That's a good plan. Just learn as you go, and you'll be successful, I think.
So Grayson,
don't ever think you know it all. Don't ever think you got it figured out, because the next day you'll be square one again, going, oh.
Grayson, what's a cold week for you? What's a cold week for you in winter?
What do you say?
What's a cold week for you in winter?
Cold week? Well, we don't really have too much freezing temperatures. I think last time it's like around like 30s or lowest. Or
okay.
Yeah, he's right outside where Bruce Jenny is, right there in Dothan.
And what?
Dothan, Alabama. He's right outside of where Bruce Jenny is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a little. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be sending you pictures of flip flops and shorts when you have 10 foot of snow.
Hey, Vincent, to answer your question, I'm running 10 frame boxes, but I'm really running 9 frames because I got a frame feeder in. So
and Larry Gandy, I'd like for you to document that. I want to see that, and I want to see the results. I'm very interested in how well that will do. That is an excellent idea.
Yep. Watch your bees and learn. They'll be your best teacher. I'm going to use it on my queen starter finisher to make giant queens.
I'm a firm believer. When you walk up, you assess the hive and let the bees tell you what needs to be done.
You can learn a lot from the front of the hive and never even open it up. Just watching the traffic going in and out, the dead bees in front of the colony, if they're bringing out pupae or what, I do that a lot. Last night, I'll go out in the middle of the night. Y'all seen my live videos. Midnight, I'm out there with my thermal camera looking at the boxes. I wish it showed up better on my camera from my thermal, but I need that. Go ahead and just send that to me, Lee. Christmas present early. Get
Dry Cut to send you his. I ain't never seen him make a video with it.
William. Matter of fact, I haven't seen William hadn't made a video in a couple weeks, right? Dry Cut.
No, he's probably working too much.
He might take 2 months off like I did.
Yeah, Chris, have a good night, man. Yeah, so it's kind of counterproductive. I mean, I start a job in the morning, a new job, and it's in Bob is just a big boy with expensive toys. Yeah, expensive hobbies too. You know, first it was beekeeping, and it's still beekeeping, but now it's this Apis biologics. That's an expensive hobby too. Getting started with that was pretty expensive. But
Hey, it was good to meet you, young man, and you're very intelligent, and I believe you're going to have a very successful future in beekeeping if you keep doing what you're doing, and if your brother sticks together, y'all got a possibility of me even having a lot of money one day and enjoying what you do. Mike, always a pleasure talking to you, Bubby. Bob and Lee, thank you as always.
you
Love you
hopping
guys.
out of
I'm
here?
out of here. Yep, got to go, Bubby.
All right,
Oh,
brother.
okay.
You have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.
See you
Have a
next
good
time.
All right, man. Love all y'all. God bless you and God bless your bees.
All right, brother. And I got my laser over there, so I still do some lasering. And I've got actually, guys, I've got a store that's set up. Hold on, I'm gonna get up for a second. Is set up to start being a reseller of the product, and I've got it sitting here ready to go for them. Just waiting on them to pay their invoice I sent them, and then it's going in the mail. So we are setting up stores. I talked to, believe it or not, Jimmy from Barnyard Bees. I talked to him yesterday, so they might be, knock on wood, they'll be starting hopefully to carry the product in their store.
Is that Jimmy from Barnyard or David?
David and Jimmy are partners.
Okay.
Jimmy runs the store part, and David does the videos and all that stuff. So
Okay.
you've watched him before, Grayson?
Barnyard Bees? I know him. I am subscribed to him. I watch him.
So we're trying to make some moves and get this product in some stores. So if you got a local store that you want to get set up so you can just drive over and pick it up, let us know, and we'll try to make that happen for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the post cost did go up October 1st. I already noticed that today, sending some out.
So Grayson, I got a question for you there, young man. What are you doing for mite treatments?
Well, right now we have Apivar strips in some of them. One of them I don't have any because I have a honey super on, but I'm gonna wait a little bit to treat that one. But all the others I have, I started putting some Apivar strips in there.
Okay.
Hey, Jose. Jose's in Atlanta.
Now, Grayson, you know about the inconsistency with the Apivar strips, right?
Go ahead. What is it?
You know about the inconsistencies with the Apivar strips?
You can go ahead and tell me. I haven't really heard of it.
Okay. So they have they've been having a quality control issue with the manufacturing, and sometimes you get good batches and sometimes you get bad. So never depend on those things. Never, just don't.
When I got mine, I ordered mine from Man Lake, and they have a 2-year shelf life on them. When I got them, they were set to expire this like October. So technically, right now.
Yeah, there have been some commercial beekeepers, like for instance, Bob Binney. It's gone. He's not using it, so he's using Apigard and dusting them off too with the oxalic, finishing them up. But yeah, I've stopped using them. I'm using, because of my temperature, I can do this. So I'm using Apigard and Formic Pro.
I've heard of those too.
What's that?
I've heard of those too, Apigard and Formic Pro. I've heard of those.
Yeah, Apigard is basically a thymol, right, Lee?
That one I'm not sure. I don't use that one.
Yeah, well, that's right. Your temperature, so you'd have to go for a really low dose and do that. But
now, Grayson, do y'all do mite washes, or you just do the treatment straight out?
Well, we did try to do some like testing or like a little bit ago. The only thing that wasn't good with it is that we didn't have like a like a screen lid, so we weren't able to do it good. We did see one mite on the thing. We did do a video on it, but
yeah, I saw that.
Do you have a vaporizer? Do you use oxalic acid vaporizer at all? Or
well, I think I'm not sure what those are. I know the kind of treatments like harsh treatments of thing and soft treatments and stuff like that. is what I'm really familiar with.
So, Grayson, I really got to encourage you to, because of where you're at specifically, go through Bob Binney's videos and Cayman Reynolds. Now, these guys, if you run into a good beekeeper, between the two of them, they've got, 70 years of experience?
70? Bob Binney's probably got 70.
Well, Bob just turned 73.
So I think he's got like 40 years, right?
Yeah, so it's actually 70, 75 between them. And if you throw Ian Stepler in, which doesn't apply to you too much, he's a northern beekeeper, but his methodology and whatnot is still transferable. Between them, I sat down and figured out they had 115 years experience. But the watchword here is that all three of them flat out will say, if they don't know something, they'll say it. We just don't know. I asked Bob Binney recently about using Formic Pro in a third dose. And he just flat out said, no, I just don't have the experience for it. So that's a good watchword. But you for your area specifically, I'd greatly encourage you. There's too many backyard beekeepers that come up with, I'm using blowing linseed oil in my hive with a whatever, and I kill all my mites. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, I got a bridge over some swampland I'm going to sell you, and Lee's going to drop it in with one of his big cranes. Well, Bob is going to laser etch it, and it's going to be great. But the commercial guys whose livelihood depends upon it, that's in fact, I got to do this. I'm going to do a video on people that you actually want to pay attention to, and kind of do that. But change the subject here. So I'm doing some open feeding on my front deck here, which is hilarious. But I've had the bald-faced hornets show up, and I haven't seen any all year.
I've got them.
So when they're showing up, it's kind of interesting because they oregano oil. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think you smoked that at the Grateful Dead concert there. But these doggone bald-faced hornets, they'll get in groups. It's almost as if they're sharing meals or something.
I saw bald-faced hornets fighting each other in my open feeder today.
Oh, speaking of which, I went to change one of the buckets on one of my really strong hives, and there were two bald-faced hornets that had gotten in the hive and were up under the bucket.
And the bees didn't do anything about it.
I'm like, what fresh hell is this?
I had a carpenter bee trying to fly in one today, and the bees tackled it out, dropped it on the ground. So
yeah, but how the heck they made it up through the two supers and got underneath there, and I don't know.
So Grayson, if you don't know who the California beekeeper is, he's a big commercial queen breeder out in California, and he wants to know where you're from.
Well, I'm from southeastern Alabama, around Dothan, like I said earlier, like everybody said earlier, and around, if you look at the map, right around the lower part, but on the right side of like Alabama, like where Dothan, Montgomery, and Luverne, basically kind of around there. But right in the center, like Pike, around that county. If you look on the map.
Sarah's Happy High says, "Is this Grayson's first year? What year is it? Did we ever cover that? You just said a few years.
A few years. I don't really know like the specific, but I could say like 3 or 4 years. I think
3
maybe
or 4 years. But you said you took a year off, like in between.
In between, so basically like 2 or 3 years or 4. I don't really keep up with that kind of thing, but I did stop for a little bit because our BC.
You might as well say half of his life he's been a beekeeper. If you were an old guy and you said, "I've been beekeeping half my life," they'd be like, "Wow, that's a really long time." And now you could really say that almost. I've been keeping bees a third of my life.
Oh, 2018.
What do you think?
You started in 2018, so 5 years ago.
Probably around then.
4 or 5 years then. That's cool. So really almost about half of your life.
Almost about half of my life.
Half of your brother's life.
Half my brother's life, definitely.
See, that's what he can do for Halloween. He can just spray paint. He can spray paint his hair, wear a bald cap like Mike does, and spray paint his hair gray around the side and say, "I've been a beekeeper for half my life," and go as a beekeeper for Halloween.
Yeah, just to let you know, Grayson, normally when Mike comes in, we all have to put sunshades on because we kind of.
It's pretty funny.
I got to put my laser glasses on and like, whoa.
I don't have mine up here tonight.
These guys
but
are
we
great.
usually have Phil in here, and Phil is like the first one with like the Ray-Bans. Pow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He just gave me a ration of crap about that. That was absolutely wonderful. I threatened to eat his goldfish. Apivar has always worked for me, but I switched to soft treatments, thymol, and moved back to acrylic. You know, Larry, is a lot of people. You know, you don't really need to do a mite wash per se if you're, you know, just treating regular. But man, if you're doing Apivar, there's no way in hell I'd rely on that. We lost one complete yard from a bad batch of Apivar last year. It was gone. And we got it on there, like too late or whatever. And there was no way to get the mite treatment, and they were gone. I think we had one hive out of 9 surviving that thing. And if you here at the end of the, come springtime, if we have a dead hive, we'll go in there and take all those bees out and do mite washes on them just to make sure.
Well, see, I had that in the spring, right? I had some deformed wing virus in one of my colonies.
Oh, you were mentioning that, yeah.
And that colony, that big tall colony that's on the end, that's the one that it was in. That it's huge now. I mean, I nuked them. I have regulation on that one. I just blasted them.
Yeah. And so, Bob, you've got an interesting scenario there. You've got that hive on the end, which means that you have a lot of crossover. Bees from other hives, they're landing in that thing, and it's just so you're going to get that.
Yeah, but I've thinned it out a little bit in there now, so it's a little bit better. And I started now. I've got on my nucleus row. Some of those are 10 framers now, so I've got 3 10 frames. They've grown up enough to where they've 10 framed, filled it out. I should have taken some video of those nukes that I put in 10. I literally moved those nukes to 10 frames, 3 weeks ago? About 3 weeks ago, and they're slam full now. So it's a good.
I like Hale here. He's telling you to take half of what we say seriously.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, definitely do your own research. Because we joke a lot on here, and like you ask anyway, we got 55 people in the chat, so you're going to get 150 different points of view on it, right? So
from each one.
Right, from each one, right? You can talk all day on it. And
that's what I always say. If you ask 10 beekeepers a question, you're going to get 15 different answers.
Yep. Yeah. And then the thing is, the one that's closest to you is probably the one you need to listen to, right? Because they're more geographically located to where you are and have the situations that you have.
Yeah, and that's my watchword that I keep beating the stick with. The beekeeping is so regional; it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I learned that the hard way. My first year, right? I learned it the hard way because I was watching YouTube videos and they're like, okay, well, he's doing this. I need to go do it, right? And the problem was they were north of me. So when they do it, I should have already done it before they did.
Big time, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, you've been keeping bees longer than Lee. Longer than me.
We might have to ask Grayson for advice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be calling you up, buddy, sending you emails. Hey, man, what are you doing? What are you doing with this? I got this problem. What are we gonna do? And I might have just disconnected again because it says unable to connect. Chat just popped up on my other screen over here.
I can still hear you right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Living in the country, even when you got decent internet, still. Yeah, and definitely don't compare your bee, what's going on in your yard with somebody else's, because it's, the fact that I have 30 colonies doesn't have anything to do with your 12 colonies, right? When I started, I was watching Barnyard Bees, who is north of me, and I think what he does is good, but it's good at the times that he does it. Not at the times that I was trying to do it. Even this year, when I went to those 2 frame colonies that I was doing them too late to start them, right? So I learned, right? So learn from it. Next year, we'll start them off earlier. and make it a better situation. Yep, and watch Bruce's bees, because he's literally in Dothan. I mean, that's where he's at.
Yeah, check out Bruce's Bees and Grammy's Midwife Homestead. They both not very far from you.
Mm-hmm. And he'll tell you, even with 100+ colonies, he learns something new every day. That's true. That's the main thing, just to soak it all in your young mind while you can still learn new things. And, my thing is I try not to get set in one way of doing things, right? If somebody has something that's better, you just learn. Like a lot of people, when I started putting my pollen patties into baggies, a lot of people started doing that. I've had people tell me it's helped them out, and it was just something that I was like, well, they're doing it on this other product, and it worked good for me. So they started trying to do it too. And, that's what it's about. It's about helping each other out, helping your bee succeed, helping you be successful. When I get I got a notification. Go figure. But, that's what we try to do. I mean, that's this channel in a nutshell. That's Lee's channel in a nutshell. Pretty much everybody that's in the stream right now in the chat, that's what we try to do. Very few people. I mean, any of these channels, I bet you if you left them a message, they would send you an email, or, if you had a question and needed to call me, man, pick up the phone or email me. I'll give you my number. You can call me anytime. And, just because I tell you this is what I would do, don't mean you have to do it, but it gives you maybe another way to look at doing something,
Definitely.
So speaking of the doing things, Grayson, what do you, where did you get your equipment from? And what are you running for frames and feeders and so on?
Well, we got all our equipment like unassembled. We had to assemble it. First, when we started first bees, we got like basic smoker, half tool, bee brush, maybe a bee box, like to keep everything in. And then we got our two. They're already big colonies. Like had like a deep and a super on it that we bought it from Florida, and then we kept those, and then like I said, we stopped for a little bit, and then when we came back, we bought a little more equipment. We bought a few more smokers and half tools just to have stuff like different half tools. And then since then we kept at it, and this is where it led us, and now we've overwintered a few colonies. Definitely.
Y'all running 8-frame boxes or 10-frame?
10 frame. We do have one colony that has 9-frame because they have like a little space in between it, but still kind of like same measurements as a 10 frame would be.
Okay.
Jeff asked,
what did you get anything from Dadant, or where were you getting your equipment?
Well, Man Lake, I think, is where we got some of our equipment from. And then we got our bees from Man Lake, and then like packages. But now I go to Nukes. We get Nukes in the spring instead of packages because they already have some like resources stuff. All you gotta do is transfer them to your hive body, and then I like those Nukes better, in my opinion.
Well, you should next year when you do your splits, you should just get you some nuke setups and make your own nukes and grow them up from nothing, and that way you don't have to buy any more nukes. You can just make your own out of the ones you got. Let them make a queen. Jeff Thomas says, Grayson, have you had hive beetles in your hives?
I do. We see hive beetles in most of all our hives. We do have hive beetles in it. And what we do is we put beetle blasters in there, beetle gels is sometimes what they call them, and then sometimes on the top of some of our hives we use and what do you call those, inner covers. And what we'll do is we'll sit there and like smush them sometimes. And
give them the hive tool test, right? Smash them. Yep, I smash them every chance we get. This year we started putting the peppermint candy in that Earl was talking about, putting a piece in each corner of the box. And I can't disprove that it wasn't affected, because it seems like I have a lot less beetles than I've had in the past.
I was waiting for that, Lee.
He's had those all year sitting in there. They're more effective in the colony.
They taste pretty good too.
They do taste
pretty good. Yeah, Christmas time here. Send those through the camera. I want some right now. So these guys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are putting a piece of candy on each corner, basically.
Yeah.
Each corner of each level, each box.
And Grayson, there have been some people just giving him crap about that, but I see some other people messing with hive beetles all over the place, and they seem to have reduced them. So I would encourage anybody to try the doggone stuff.
Right. For as cheap as it is, it's worth
it. It's not going to completely eliminate them, but it does help.
It does. And then when you see them, you still hive tool test them, smash them.
The only 2 slime outs I've had this year from hive beetles is the 2 hives that I didn't put peppermint in.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I didn't really. I mean, I had a couple hive beetle here and there, but they wasn't bad.
I think I had 1 slime out on a two frame nuke, but mainly my problems with the 2 framers had been wax moss. Wax moss had been worked for me this year. So let me see.
Yeah.
Mark says, Grayson, you need to put swarm traps out. Then you don't have to buy bees, and they seem to be better bees.
Next year, I was planning on trying to put some boxes out there, like because we live out in the country, so we have like everywhere to put swarm traps. So we probably try that next year to try to catch our own swarms.
See, Gunline says the peppermint he's in Alabama as well. Hey, Tim, what part of Alabama are you in? Where are you at? I know I should know this. I probably do if I looked up the shipping document for the APIS.
Yeah, I can't remember where Tim is either.
But he's in southern Alabama as well.
It makes the bee's breath smell good too.
Yes. So the hive beetle can trick the bee into feeding it, right?
I've heard of that.
So they don't like the peppermint. So it kind of pushes them out. It won't keep them all the way out, but it's a deterrent. And the bees will eat it, and they will actually put it in the frames, like around the brood. And it's my thought, well, if they don't like it, then it's kind of a barrier around the brood as well. So I haven't had any issues with slime outs this year. Knock on wood, we're still in this year, but things change all the time. Yeah, peppermint was a great help this year. And it's been all over the country, so it's not just here. We've had people in Ohio say it, Alabama say it, There you go.
I'd kind of like to send about a 10-pound bag of it to Jeff, Mr. Ed. Just kind of esoteric, but what the heck? I mean, he knows hive beetles. He deals with them, and his way of dealing with them, Grayson, is just has really, really strong hives, so the beetles they get herded in. But it'd be very, very curious. But okay, so it is esoteric information, but the results that these gentlemen have had. See, I don't have hive beetles up here, and the only hive beetles that I've ever had have been when I bought package bees. And they're from a warmer climate. And then they're there for 1 year, and then that's it. So
freezes them out.
Yeah.
I noticed the hive beetles that get stuck in the hive over winter. When it gets cold, they do move a lot slower. They're a lot easier to smash in the wintertime. If you're, I've done that because I'll open my colonies if they're flying. If I see them flying out of a colony, I have no problem getting in it because I'm like, well, they're getting out and flying. I don't have a problem popping it open and getting in them. So,
and then the other, what is that stuff that Jason Chrisman uses? He's putting nematodes around the hives.
Yeah, in the ground.
On the ground. That find the larvae and apparently eat the doggone things.
It's what I treat my ground with.
Triazazine.
Yeah. On colder days when I know they're not going to be, well, I say cooler days we have here in South Louisiana.
Yeah.
If I know we're going to have several in a row and hopefully a little rain, I'll put this out all around my hives and let it soak into the ground.
Do you actually water it in?
No.
Or you just set it down and let it rain it in?
Let it rain in. I try to watch the weather and I see some rain coming up, I'll go put it out.
I put diatomaceous earth underneath them. And this year, on where my colonies are, I actually used the black tarp, but now you can't tell because grass is growing through the weed barrier. So go figure out how that's supposed to work, right? It's supposed to stop stuff from growing through it, but it's still growing through. So,
and then on my hive stands here, I don't have hive beetles, but what I do is I spray the stands below the hives with permethrin, and for the ants, that kind of stuff. But
so my chickens don't go over. I mean, they will walk around my colonies, but it's like they don't start pecking underneath them, which I was hoping that. So guineas is a type of chicken, right? So
yeah, like a type of bird. We have those around our house. That's why.
Guinea hen?
Guineas.
Guineas. Do the guineas? Do they roost in trees? In your trees?
Yeah, trees, because we have pine trees around our house.
Right.
They roost up in those pine trees at night.
Randy, that's interesting. And then what was it? Mark Miller said something about using baby food jars. Now that's completely new to me. I wonder how the heck that works out.
Yeah, that's what Hell's Hives was asking. How's that work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark,
we're all learning.
let us know.
Do a video on that one. We need to see it.
I'm just curious as all get out. Baby food jars.
But Randy Klingon said he puts a little bit of pollen patty in his hive beetle traps and attracts them in and it kills them.
That makes sense for you guys, doesn't it?
You know what? That's genius. I wonder if you use in those little black beetle jails, the beetle barns or whatever.
Oh yeah.
If you put a little bit of pollen patty in there and mix poison into the pollen patty, if when they got in there to get it, they would eat some and just die.
Yeah, mix some diatomaceous in it. I don't know.
If they would die, if they would die before the bees propolize the entrances open and the beetles can't get into them.
Now, what I did with the beetle gels last year, I mixed a little bit of Crisco with diatomaceous earth, and I put one little drop in the center, and it caught several of them in it.
Drill a hole in the bottom board.
Stapler, where baby screw. Oh, no kidding. Okay, so they drop down. Okay, that sounds good.
I saw. Is that something like the Skinny Bee Man was doing? Joe, what's his name? It's leaving my mind right now.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Joe May, a little bit.
Joe May, thank you. Yeah.
I think he was doing that but I think he was using a mason jar with something in it. But it was the same principle with the screen and the beetles would get run down in there and then they would fall into diatomaceous earth or something and die.
Okay.
Do you have a thinking chair?
What's that mean? Thinking chair, like whenever I think about my bees thing.
So most of us, this is something that Greg Burns talks about all the time from Nature's Image Farms, and most of us do have one where it's just a chair out by your bees that you sit and just watch them fly and think about things and what's going on with them.
Sometimes I do go up there, sit in front of the hive and just look at them, that kind of thing. I don't really set a chair out there and sit out there, but I do whenever I'm out there, I like to go in front of the hive, see what they're bringing in. Like to look at, observe the hive in the front whenever I'm done with my inspections and stuff.
Right.
Lee, what was that?
That's a roach gel.
Randy Klingon was saying used a roach bait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Using roach bait in mine.
I couldn't quite read it.
Oh, bought some, but I haven't used it yet. I've got 4 tubes of it.
I did. Bruce's bees was putting some of that stuff in his oil trap. That's what he was using. And I tried that last year, but I didn't have the success that he had using that. But I did have it in the little beetle barn jail. They were using it pretty good, but that was only until the bees propolized the little entrances. All right, Tim, we'll see you later, buddy.
Yeah, I have a wire cam that I can actually run up in the entrance of my beehive. And the first year when I put those little beetle barns in there, a bee got stuck in it. And when I run that camera up in there, you could see the bee, the legs were just sitting there moving. It couldn't get out.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left on the stream. So I'm going to do another plug. So if you guys want Apis Biologics, please go to the website, which is what? Oh, yeah, it's bewares.bigcartel.com. And you can order it there, and we'll get it shipped out to you.
Just drop the link in the description or in the comments.
We got a big territory, so it's like we need to start working, getting some stores set up and stuff like that. So We're working on it, but we appreciate you guys for doing the pre-order for sure. That helped us out. If you didn't get in on the pre-order, apologize, you missed the discount, but I guess I need to get me a chair. Maybe it will help me. Larry, there's no help for you. You got way too much work going on over there. You can't sit down. Yeah,
Chili
the chili
peppers
giving away. Man, I'm already having to get ready to reorder more. We sold so much. So,
of your pepper honey?
No, not of the
of the aphis. Okay,
of the aphis. Yeah,
and he's already made 2 orders.
We have for turtles here.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask. I was going to give you a call about that, but we need to be careful what we use on the ground around here because we have go. Oh yeah.
Where's that at?
I don't have the gophers here now. When I was living about I'd say an hour and a half north of here, I had the little moles in the yard.
I think
What
I've got
is a gopher turtle?
This show's turned into like National Geographic tonight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Different animals that are popping up.
Pretty doggone much. That's gonna grow hot peppers next year for hot honey. Yeah, DC Bob. By the way, Grayson, that's something that Bob and I have been having a lot of fun with. Is that I'm making ghost pepper honey.
Hot honey.
I'm making ghost pepper honey. And I can turn around and sell that for twice as much as the regular honey. I thought that was a joke, a gopher turtle.
So someone's in Florida, probably.
It's Florida.
Wow.
I'm figuring that may be where Sun Bunny.
Very interesting.
That would sound right. That's a Florida specific name. So hey, where are we at on your subs now, Grayson?
Let me check real quick.
If you have not subscribed to Grayson's channel,
67 so far.
How many?
67.
67. So you went from 20 to 41, and then you got 25 more tonight, or 26 more tonight.
26. That's pretty good.
Yeah, look at you blowing up. So we're gonna get you out there, man. We're gonna try to do our best, and you're welcome anytime. We do the stream every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock your time, because that's also Lee's time, 7 o'clock.
Every other week we alternate. 1 week we're on Bob's channel, 1 week we're on my channel.
So next week we'll be over on Kodiak Farms Bees. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to him. He's got less than you.
I will.
I'm just kidding. Almost though. No.
Almost.
Oh my gosh.
William just showed up. Did you get anything tonight, William? You was hunting?
What was he hunting?
Probably deer.
Huh. Okay.
And if it's not on tape, it never happened. That's all I'm saying.
Pensacola, Florida, Sun Bunny. That sounds good.
But so yeah, if you're, I know you guys heard us talk about this apis. Probably not familiar. You're probably not familiar with it if you don't follow Ian Stepler on YouTube, because he calls it his rocket fuel. And let me see. So Grayson, last time to hang out with all these old farts, or will you join us again?
Definitely. Whenever y'all have it, I will definitely try to join it.
Well, we're here every Tuesday night. That's the plan. 7 Central, 7 your time.
Definitely.
So usually for the first 30 minutes, it's just me and Lee rambling about what's going on in our bee yards and stuff. And then usually 30 minutes after, we throw the link up, and you're welcome to join anytime. But if you haven't heard of the Apis biologic, this is what Ian Stepler calls rocket fuel. So that's an additive that he's using. And I've been using it. Mike's been using it. Lee isn't using it yet. Lee, though, he gets all this expensive stuff. Do you think he would buy from his buddy's store? No, he hasn't. See how he is?
I told you my other plans, what my expense might be coming up.
I'm just messing with him. But yeah, a lot of people did buy some from us, and we appreciate that. But if you haven't, definitely go to the website and check it out. And if you can, purchase some. If you can't, we understand. No pressure. And yeah, James is like, what? Lee didn't buy any? Lee's got every tool known to man and then some. But at any rate, it's 1 after 10. Grayson, thank you so much for coming to sit with us and talk to us tonight.
Welcome.
We really appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. He said he probably texted me. Did you email it or text it? Oh, it must have been a text because it just came through. It's a video too. Let's see.
What was it? Deer hunting?
Donnie said I'm the control group.
Absolutely. Huh.
Okay. You know, he's a control group for bee having against beekeeping too right now.
Mm.
He hasn't gotten out to his bee yard very much because of his work job.
Mm.
Let me see.
Wow.
He's definitely out here. Wow, could you make the video any smaller? I'm just saying. And that's like he was sitting there waiting on something to come through.
I thought he only hunted armadillos down there.
Armadillos.
That was Brad.
Yeah, I know.
Cajun.
I
I'm gonna watch that, William.
Crap, you know.
But but anyway, guys, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you know, we definitely anytime come back and join us. Tell your parents thank you for letting you sit around with us old beekeepers and talk bees with us.
Definitely.
They're probably watching anyway, right? They're probably watching.
Probably definitely.
Thank you guys, and hopefully we didn't defile your child too much, your children, for watching. And you know, anytime, any Tuesday night, please come join us.
Definitely.
And again, tomorrow night, Stream Team is going to have Bob Binney on, and Thursday night, Greg is going to be over on Hillbilly Hives Live on Earl's channel. So come check us out. 3 nights a week, there's live streams, so we try to promote them. And if you haven't, go sub to Grayson's channel. And
I just did, as a matter of fact.
You just did? Cool.
Yeah.
Blowing them up.
So,
We're up to 71 now.
71.
Gained 30 tonight.
That's great.
Next week, he's going to have more subs than all of us. He'll be getting monetized. He'll be going viral. You know, that's awesome. Then he'll be giving us shout outs. Hey, go check this guy out. Or matter of fact, you can be like, I was on this stream last night. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good evening, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night on the Stream Team.
All right. Thank y'all. Good night.
See you later. Thanks, Grace.
You're welcome.
Bye.